怎么回事？再探再报，妹，走れ！
Japan's relationship with Wuthering Waves has been rocky since the start. With the unnatural sounding localization and the absolute fiasco with Jian's weapon banner, many people have been worried that Wuthering Waves was all but dead in Japan. But this new 2.0 reinstated update put all those fears to rest. Many big names have been checking out this update, including two of the biggest Genshin players on YouTube, artists from Fate Grand Order, and one of the largest Twitch streamers in Japan, Kasen. So, what did they have to say? I watched through dozens of hours of live streams, checked out thousands of comments, and looked at hundreds of tweets. Just before making this video, in fact, Nagi, a huge Genshin CC in Japan, put out a tweet asking for their community to let them know what they liked and didn't like about Wuthering Waves. I went through absolutely every single one of these comments and tabulated how many times I saw certain things being mentioned about what they liked and what they didn't like. And these results tend to reflect what I've been seeing in other places as well. Okay, the first thing that they liked wasn't really to do with the game itself, but rather the developers. No matter where I looked, even when people were being overall negative about Wuthering Waves, everyone agreed that Kuro Games clearly cares about this game, and one of the biggest pieces of evidence for that was with the speed of patches and updates that they bring out. They really like that Kuro seems to be taking in feedback from their player base and implementing the changes that players are asking for.
前々から持ってた不満であるとか、ここちょっと改善したら良くなるんちゃうかっていうのを一つ一つね、しらみつぶしに改善されていっております。で、今回のアップでこの動画で紹介しきれないほどにボリューミー、かつゲームがめっちゃ改善もされてて。
In short, devs listened and Japan loves it. What they didn't love though is that the majority of the 1.x characters seem to have been completely forgotten about in favor of new upcoming characters. Just like how many people like to solo clear holograms with Danjin, or with the sheer popularity of Sephiroth as a character, Japan wanted at least some attention given to these characters before moving on. The next thing they loved is just how forgiving the gacha system is. Particularly that there is no 50-50 on the weapon banner, and also how you can buy duplicates in the shop.
2凸分まで交換できるっていうのを聞いてね、いやすげえなと思ったね。直接凸できるよっていうのが言ってるんでね、かなり親切設計、4凸が実質間凸。
Japan is known for spending the most on games per capita in the world, so something like this really stands out as an absolute godsend for those who want to whale but don't want to whale too much. In fact, I actually saw one person that said that the gacha is too forgiving and that they wanted Kuro to let them whale more. I mean, if you've got money burning a hole in your pocket, you can just whale on my account if you want. I won't say no. Next up for what Japan loves is the combat. Fast, fluid, and stylish combat is what Kuro Games is known for, and Wuthering Waves doesn't disappoint. While it might not get as technical as their other IP, Punishing Grey Raven, it offers just enough complexity for people to get invested in without feeling overwhelmed. Not only that, the variety of different attack animations of not only the characters we control, but also the bosses and overworld mobs are also another thing that Japan really, really enjoys.
いや、まだ敵じゃないな。70レベルからやな、やっぱ。さあ、腕が生えた。腕が生えるとフェイタルエラー、攻撃がすごい。あ、新技ワンパンやばい
What they don't enjoy though is the grind to build characters. They didn't go too much into detail about what they meant by this, but from the other comments I've seen, I think they're talking about how they feel that there's not enough wave plates, the wave plate overflow cap is too low, waiting 2 minutes for bosses to respawn is a pain, and how only being able to get the rewards 3 times per week is too low. What isn't too low though is level of quality in the graphics and environment. Almost every comment I saw spoke about how they loved the way the game looked. Also, I didn't see anyone make any distinctions to say that they only meant Riensita either, so I can only assume that they meant every location that we have explored so far. Huanglong, Mount Firmament, Black Shores, and now Riensita too.
うわーおー初だ
すごくないですか。もうこのオープンワールドゲー好きとしては、これほどの広大なマップ、これほどの綺麗な景色を縦横無尽に飛び回れるっていうだけでもうよだれ出ますよ、本当に。
To add a little more onto how Japan doesn't like the grind for building characters, there was also this other thing that I saw brought up very often. Echoes. Whenever I saw echoes brought up, it was always a combination of, yeah, the echoes are cool, but there isn't enough experience or tuners. This echo experience and tuner scarcity issue was one of the 3 biggest problems I saw that Japan had with Wuthering Waves. And just personally, yes, I have to agree. Another thing I agree with is the exploration and movement mechanics in Wuthering Waves. Even from the very beginning, Japan has loved how easy it is to get around the world, with infinite stamina to run around, wall jumping and flipping up and around obstacles, as well as the grappling hook that any character can use. The movement in Wuthering Waves has always caught Japan's interest.
いや、これがね、本当移動しててすごく楽しい要素かなと思いますね。はい。というわけでもこれ見てるだけでもかなり遊びたくなりませんか？
And now with these recent additions of the elusive sprint, gondolas, as well as flight, Wuthering Waves has taken the #1 spot for gacha game exploration in Japan. Okay, this next complaint I heard might take a few of you by surprise, but the second largest complaint I heard from Japan was the sheer lack of male characters. Again, in almost every comment I saw that was talking about what they want changed in future updates, almost everyone said that they want more male characters, which makes sense if you've been paying attention. When Wuthering Waves announced the first batch of Rinasita characters, Brant almost got the most attention out of anyone. Roichi got 27,000 likes, Carlotta got 33,000 likes, Phoebe got 35,000 likes, and Brant got 44,000 likes, only outpaced by Zanny with 52,000. I mean, for obvious reasons, just look at her. My point is though that Japan is also crying out for more male characters. But on the point of characters though, this was the top commented thing I saw that Japan likes about Wuthering Waves. They absolutely love the characters. Everyone always pointed out just how well the characters are designed, and not only that, they loved how the characters looked in-game too. What I mean by that is that when characters are announced, they might look good in their drip marketing, but when it comes to actually seeing them in-game, it leaves a lot to be desired. Not with Wuthering Waves. Japan loves how the in-game models look exactly how they do in their drip marketing and cutscenes, if not even better.
なんかもうザンニーもブラントもフィービーもさ 2D のイラストも良かったんけど 3D モデルになってなおいいすごいね
The variety in the idle animations, poses, and attention given to even the most minor of details has really impressed Japanese players. The biggest problem that I saw most often brought up by Japanese players was, of course, the story. Acts 1 through 3 to be specific. Yeah, no one likes these 3 acts, whether in EN or in JP. Even when I saw comments saying how good they think the story was, there was always the caveat saying, except the beginning. And I think we all know why. But it's even worse for Japan. As I've explained many times before, the amount of jargon that is brought up in the early chapters made it difficult for many to get through in English, but it's almost impossible in Japanese because of the way that the Japanese language is. There were many words that had certain kanji that are never seen together in Japanese, so it was quite literally impossible to know how to even read the word. Okay, this is a slight side tangent that isn't really to do with Wuthering Waves specifically, but there was this tweet which went a little viral on Twitter with almost 5.2 million views. It was talking about the description of skills from a lot of the Chinese games, and this is the tweet. In the skills section of Chinese games, there are too many descriptions like, when you activate Jugamu, you get 1 stack of Goko, and when you accumulate 5 stacks of Goko, the Surikire buff is activated. And when in the Surikire state, the Kai, Jari, and Suigyo buffs rotate every 1.5 seconds. Basically, it's talking about how the detailed descriptions are making it too difficult to understand. But not only that, they're also talking about the length and convolution of the naming structure. You might have recognized a few of the words in that tweet that's from an old famous Rakugo story about a boy who had a ridiculously long name. The full name is Jugama Jugama Goko no Surikire Kai Jari Suigyo Undai Matsu Furai Matsu Kuneru Tokoro Nisumu Tokoro Yaburu Koji Noburu Koji Paipo Paipo na Paipo Shuringan no Gurindai no Pompoku Pi no Pompoku na no Chokyumen Chosuke. And no, I cannot and will not say that 5 times fast. Anyway, the point is, Japan is tagged with the length of these descriptions and the naming schemes in general because it just makes it needlessly difficult to understand just how to read it all in the first place.
スキル詳細が難解すぎるってところで軽く椿のスキル見てほしいんですけど、どうですかねこれ一目見て理解できる人はいるんでしょうか。私はもうお手上げです。この手のソシャゲなら当たり前っちゃ当たり前の光景かもしれないんですけど、名調はね特に難解かなと。その難解さに拍車をかけているのはやはり専門用語で、どのキャラもスキル、共鳴スキル、他特性に名前がついているから、その名前を用いてステータス解説すると頭パンクするのよ。毎回新キャラが出てくるたびにここを読んで理解するのだいぶ時間かかるので。
I've also mentioned this before too, that the name of Wuthering Waves in Japan was also misread for the longest time as Narushio, which is based on the Kunyomi reading. The correct reading, however, is Meicho, based on the Onyomi reading, for those that are interested. Jargon in games isn't that much of an issue, the Final Fantasy series can attest to that, but the problem is that there was a lack of consideration for the Japanese players because many of these words, places, and even names of characters, there wasn't even any furigana above the word to let the Japanese know how to read it in the first place.
なんて読むのこの子漢字がわかんないこの人なんて読むんだシロちゃんかな漢字読めねえ
It might sound trivial, but it is a huge problem in Japan. While combat is a massive part of Wuthering Waves, the majority of players here play the game for the world, the characters, and the story, and if they can't even read the names of these things, it takes away a massive part of their enjoyment. And Japan does enjoy the story of Wuthering Waves, except Acts 1 through 3, like I said. And even more so, they especially enjoyed this Rinasita update. One streamer was so moved by the climax, she actually broke down crying on stream.
して泣きすぎてスクショできなかった感動しすぎてスクショ逃したちょっとすごすぎたんだけどやばすぎた鳥肌がずっと止まらなくて
So despite all the problems that Wuthering Waves has had, especially in Japan, this Reinstated update has injected a new vein of life into the game, and now it's being recommended more and more. Multiple times I saw comment threads of people saying, I left because the jargon was too much. Is it worth coming back? And having many people respond, yes, come back, it's good now. And also, when I saw these streamers playing Wuthering Waves, I saw the vast majority of their chat and also in the comment section saying thank you for covering Wuthering Waves. People have been waiting for this. And looking at Google Trends, Wuthering Waves is sitting pretty damn comfortable with 3 times the amount of attention compared to Honkai Star Rail, a game that was frequently sitting in the top 5 best gacha games in Japan. Saying that though, Zenless Zone Zero is catching up too. I really need to check out the latest update. I know a lot of the tweets and comments that were shown in this video weren't translated because it would just take far too long and the screen will get really too messy for doing that. So this is a case of like, just trust me bro, but I will be doing a stream tomorrow where I go through basically every single comment that I showed here, so you can see for yourselves that the comments do say what I say they're saying, and that you can also make up your mind whether you think I've been cherry picking certain comments or not, and then you can just see for yourself. I try to be as objective in my analysis of the JP opinion as possible, but I can understand when people might think, oh, you're just cherry picking the ones to support your own personal beliefs. Well, I don't think that's the case, but I can understand why. So if you do want to see for yourself, make sure to follow and subscribe, because I'll be doing a live stream for that tomorrow. And then afterwards, I will put the link to the live stream in the description for anyone that wants to check it out later as well. So that is the state of Wuthering Waves in Japan. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comment section below. And if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe because I have more videos like this coming out in the future. So until next time, I will see you in the next video. Peace.